Welcome to the Align Life podcast. I'm your host, Malika. On this podcast, we talk about all things self-development, life, spirituality, and more. So sit back, enjoy, listen, and learn. Welcome back to another episode of the Align Life podcast. My name is Malika, and we're back with another episode. This episode is also going to be kind of lo-fi. I'm just literally filming this on my phone, or recording this rather. I didn't feel like bringing out all of the equipment, but today I wanted to talk about how we need it all. We need the dark and the light, the in-between, the gray, all of it. It's all a part of our experience here on earth. And in the new age, spiritual self-development, self-care, pop movement, there's a lot of bypassing of that, where they just want you to be love and light. And I did a segment or a video series on my YouTube called Everything Wrong with New Age Spirituality and all of that. And so this episode is kind of like in addition to those other episodes. And this is one thing that is really wrong in the communities that I just talked about, where they don't understand that our darkness is a part of the journey here. You can't just be all light and all fluffy. Life is going to life. Life is going to have a lot of challenges, a lot of unexpected things happening. Ups, downs, in-betweens, boredom, all of that. And we need it all. And as that goes into your personality and your experience here on life, on this journey called life, you know? And that's a part of a lot of these personality systems, human design, and, like, I can't remember, Enneagram, and just all of them, even astrology. And when I say astrology, I mean low-level astrology. People who don't really understand it and just talk from a very general, popular space of it. They don't understand life. And I'm going to keep going back to that, because if it was all meant to be beautiful and calm and peaceful, there would be none of these things going on. No wars, no challenges, no poverty, no, injustices, no race. We would all be on this whole unity consciousness. And I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I do believe that unity consciousness is a thing. It is real, However, life is a lesson. That's what I believe. And a lot of these systems don't take into account your personal experience. Meaning, just because it says you're an INFJ or an ENTP, for those of you that know what I'm talking about, doesn't mean that there wasn't maybe an experience in your life and that's where you were introverted. Say you're an extroverted, you are an ENTP or whatever, and it says you're extroverted and blah, blah, blah. But say there was a period of your life that was really tough and challenging and you went through a period of introversion. You know what I'm saying? Or let's say you're on a basic level understanding of astrology, and you listen to people who have a basic level of understanding, and they say, oh, you're an Aries, you're fiery, you are excitable, you're like the child of the zodiac, you want to get in there and get things done, you can be hot-headed. Those are very low-level understandings, but maybe you're not. Maybe you're an evolved Aries. Maybe you have a lot of different placements in your chart that are that mellow you out. Say you have Taurus or something and you're very mellow, and it takes a lot for you to be hot-headed or come out into that fiery kind of essence that Aries has, and a lot of these don't take into account of that, or, let's just say you have the positive police who always want you to be positive. And if you were just positive, none of these negative things would happen, or the people who want you to heal. You just got to heal everything and get that trauma out of your body. And healing is very important. However, some things can only be healed to a certain extent. Some things you're just going to learn to cope with, and you'll have those people that's like, no, you've got to move that trauma out of your body. You've got to do all of this and that. And for some people, they have been in therapy. They have done all the healing and all the this and the that. And still that memory or that physical response shows up for them when they are triggered. Does that now mean that they aren't healed, that they haven't been doing the actual work? No, it doesn't. It's just a part of the experience of being human, which encompasses the light and the dark, the yin and the yang, all in the all. And yes, it's great to learn coping and how to deal with that, and techniques and tips and tricks and different perspectives and how to reprogram our mind and CBT and all of that. All of that is important. But your darkness is important. Those shadow aspects that you don't like about yourself or that somebody told you weren't good to have. All of that is a part of it. It's a part of the journey. This desire that we have, or that a lot of people have, to kind of transcend and ascend like this earthly existence, is wild to me sometimes. Not because I don't believe we should be trying to reach a higher level of consciousness and awareness of self in the all. It blows my mind because people literally have created like an elitism with this. I'm so transcendent and I'm positive and everything, and I'm so great, and you're so low level. Oh my God, you don't understand anything, and I'm better than you, and you're so negative and you're earthly. Look at you. You're eating meat, you're drinking, you're partying, you're having fun, you're not trying to be one with it all and all this crap. And it's just wild to me that they think this way, and they think they're so better than everyone, and that they're so light and they're so one with the earth and with God and source and the universe. But they're not. It's just something to make them feel better. And it's a part of spiritual bypassing, as well as all the other bypassings of it all. And early on in my spiritual journey, I will just say, I learned that my darkness is just as valuable as my lightness. And I need them all. I need it all. And let's just say an example of your darkness is, because a lot of times, our darkness can be considered like our sexual preferences, our desires, alcohol, drugs, secularism, like music and that type of thing, or just enjoying earthly pleasures, that can be considered, a part of your darkness, or those kind of, let's just say, like maybe you have a mental disorder or illness, or anything that they don't consider a part of your journey to be conscious, aware, spiritual, developed, all of that, And the thing about it is, not all of our darkness is actually bad. And again, we are here having a human experience, having a journey. And I'm not saying you should just, oh my God, I want to do drugs and I should just go be addicted to meth or what. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that for some people, had they never gone down that path, they would have never been able to have the perspective, the realizations, the life lessons, or to be able to come out on the other side and understand others who are going through that very exact thing. And so I hope I'm not all over the place, but I hope you understand what I mean. It's just like life and spirituality and all of this, it's all meant to happen. You're meant to have all of these experiences. And yes, you should evolve your understanding of what you're going through so that you don't continuously loop and loop and loop. But that doesn't mean you should be shying away from those dark things. Just because I consider myself very spiritual, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to have a drink every now and then. That doesn't mean I might not have an edible or go dancing or unleash my desires for sexual pleasure or to, whatever, to study the occult or just do anything considered taboo or whatever. That doesn't mean I'm not going to go there. Or because I had a down day where I just completely couldn't find the positive, or I was grieving, or I was sad, angry, upset, that doesn't mean that I'm not on the right path, that I'm not developing myself, that I'm not spiritual. Do you get what I'm saying? So I really want you all to stay away from people like that. Stay away from people trying to teach you that you have to just go towards the light and be positive, and that your darkness has to be healed and it has to be brought to the light, and it does. But I'm saying like that it has to be washed away, that you can't have it, that you can't. And when I say dark, please don't associate that with like some type of psychopathic, murdering, rape type of energy. I mean nothing of those things. I'm talking about like, things like I said previous to that. But it's just stay away from that. And if you are into spirituality and self-development, really observe the lessons and the material that you are reading or absorbing, and understand like there's been a lot of cultural appropriation of different practices and understandings and knowledges. So try to get as close to the source of the material as you possibly can. And also, for people who may have taken my positivity comment out of context, I'm not saying that being positive is a bad thing. I'm saying that that's not jumping towards positivity is not always the answer. Like, let's just have a brief example. Say you knew someone who was suffering from a physical illness and it was just debilitating them, and one day they passed away and you're grieving, and your first thought is that you're upset because you're going to miss them. You loved and cared about them. But then you listen to somebody and they're like, well, you shouldn't be sad. You should actually be happy because so-and-so is now not suffering anymore. That's what I mean by, trying to put a positive spin on things. You should still be able to grieve. No one's saying that you shouldn't think, well, at least they're not suffering anymore. Yes, that's great, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to be sad, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So really, we have to deepen in our understanding of these practices. We have to get away from these coaches and these courses and these people trying to sell you fake lies and fake techniques and low-level understandings of all of these things. Even shadow work. Get away from people who don't understand shadow work. Shadow work is not about, bringing all these bad things about your personality or these traumas that you experience up from the darkness, even things that have hidden your beautiful talents, and just washing them away and now it's all light. No, it a lot of times it's about acknowledging what you've been through and acknowledging how people have shunned your talents or, the ways that you think that actually aren't bad for you, or etc. The list goes on. I don't want to make this super long. I think you understand what I mean. But yes, in a nutshell, we need the light, we need the dark, we need the gray. We need it all. And we're going to experience it all. And it's always going to be something that we experience on this journey called life. I believe that, like many other teachers have taught, that this is Earth school. This is not Earth positivity. This is not bring my life to the highest state of consciousness, of lightness, so that I can pretend I'm some spiritual goddess or god and I'm above all other people and all things, and I'm just so light energy. No, it's not that. So I hope this helped. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please review this on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, whatever, or any other platform where you can review this. Share this. Follow me on Instagram at The Aligned Life with Malika, on YouTube at The Aligned Life with Malika, for tarot and all your tarot needs, at Intuitive Queen for that on YouTube. And I will see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, or evening, wherever you are in the world. I wish you nothing but love, light, and, darkness as well. And when I say that, I mean you just embracing all of you. I wish you nothing but that. Peace and love. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Aligned Life podcast. If you enjoyed it, rate, comment, and share. And find me on Instagram at The Aligned Life with Malika.